Hey there, good morning. I'm John. Today is Friday, June 28th, 2024. This is my daily vlog, my regular ritual stand-up where I come in each morning to my studio, turn on the lights and camera, and report to you what I've been doing, what I'm doing next, and how it's going in my experiment to try to make content creation indefinitely sustainable. And as usual, let's start with yesterday. A good day, productive day, and a long day too. So most of the day was spent creating the Friday Plays video. That's a regular cyclic thing now that I do. It started out as we call it a low or no effort kind of video, which it never really is. I would say typically creating that video takes about 4 to 4.5 hours, which, for a little 10-minute, you're going to play an Atari game. But again, I do a little research, I write a script, I record the stand-up, I've explained to you. Video creation takes time. If ever you thought it was just like, just knock one out, you can if you don't want to edit it or you don't have a script or anything. But anyway, those have become very, very successful for us. And so the new one, I got all done. Of course, I shot and recorded and edited, and I published it for YouTube members yesterday, and it will be available to everyone this afternoon. So we'll get that published. We'll talk about that today. The new podcast that came out yesterday performed very well. Our stats are looking up on the podcast, which I don't talk about very often because it's pretty stable. It's not a big growth avenue, nor is it a big revenue source for us either. But it is something that is a regular provider of it. I've often said, as we've talked about, how do we focus our time for revenue, is that, well, the podcast is something that it's how people get to know us. And it's really, I think, where the majority of our patronage comes from on Patreon. So it's more of a PR tool than it is a direct revenue source. But it's also something we really enjoy doing too. And something to be said for that. In the evening, we did a live stream. So Neo Sprint, which is an evolution of the Sprint racing game that Atari has had in arcades since the 70s, was on the VCS for a while, but ultimately came to all platforms yesterday. And we have we got an early key to it, got to get ready for it, and we had a live stream last night. And George joined me on that live stream. So we chatted, we raced together some, using some remote software. And toured the thing. It was a wildly fun live stream. There was so much generosity on that stream. I think, I mentioned that I released the plays to members a day early. I think we gained about 20 new members yesterday thanks to the generosity of people gifting those memberships to other people in the stream. And at any given time, there were between 50 and 80 people in the stream, so it was well attended. We did the jelly bean challenge thing where I spin the wheel for donations and get the jelly bean that's either good or bad. And it was notoriously bad all night. I think there was one good one in, I couldn't tell you, 12 or 15 beans I had to eat. And they were, it's like pomegranate or, dirty bandage. And it's always the yucky one. It was always the yucky one. It was terrible. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's the stunt, and it's to see how it goes. So, let's talk about stats then. So, a good day yesterday. We had a couple of videos get little bumps, and so some stats uptick. On this chart, we'd like to be right at the middle at 50 subscribers average and 10,000 views average each day over the last 7 days. Views are up to over 10, about 10,500 views average over the last 7 days. Yesterday is a big reason why. And subscribers up to almost 23, about 22.8 subscribers average. Yesterday was a strong day, nearly 40. So look how close that is to our kind of 50 goal. No new milestone, but we're about 25 shy of that. So I would expect that will hit today, but we'll talk about it on Monday because the weekend. So for today, we talked about it the other day. So I had started working on a long form video. I paused it yesterday to work on the plays. I'm going to renew that today. My target is to get that either done for Monday or so far done for Monday that I can finish it Monday to release on Monday. Because right now I have 3 videos planned for next week, including one for Monday, one for Wednesday, and then the Friday Plays, of course. So it could be a busy week if I get that one started. Because I could use a shot in the arm for some stats, so more videos will do it. And then, of course, in the afternoon is the Friday Plays release. That's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I always like to be present when those drop to kind of watch the stats. Well, by present, I mean paying attention. Of course, I'm present. I'm working, but I mean focusing on seeing how the stats go, seeing how stuff. I provided 2 slightly alternate thumbnails again to see how those pan out. All that. I like to be monitoring the stats when new videos drop, so I'll be doing that at around 3 o'clock. Take a break in my editing. So, yeah, that'll round out my Friday pretty well. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster lately, you know, with the stats dipping and stuff, and then the great news that I had yesterday that I can only, you know, vaguely hint at. Plus, wow, there's on the heels of that thing I was talking about, there's a package on its way to me right now that has, you know, let's see, has a recent prototype of a gadget a lot of people are anticipating. That's vague enough, I think. Yeah. But it's an early look at something coming out later in the year, and have an opportunity to take a look at a mock-up of it and how it's evolved. And so that is something we'll be covering very shortly, because that'll get here early next week. That might change my plans for next week. Who knows? Who knows? There's good stuff in the offing. I'm excited. I'm not, you know, I've learned to not get hyper excited because something doesn't pan out, but there are a line of things over the next couple of months that I'm very optimistic about that could really give us a shot in the arm. And I'm eager to get them in hand, get the information, get covering them, and get it out there, because it all builds. And as we've seen, new information like Atari news and new products, those are absolutely the big breadwinners to bring people in the door to find out all the other stuff that we do. So that's the kind of stuff we have coming. Okay, that's enough optimism for today. Let's get back to grinding, shall we? Thank you for popping in to check out today's vlog, if in fact that's what you did. You know, if you're here every day, I love you for that. Thank you for sticking with me. It's going to pay off. I gotta believe it's going to pay off. It's the weekend. Have a good Friday and a wonderful weekend. Do something good for yourself. You know you deserve it. And I'll talk to you again next week. Sure. Bye-bye.